ಐತಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅವ್ರು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ.
Good afternoon, everyone. All the students are requested to be seated. I request all the dignitaries to go on the stage. Please be seated on the stage. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the NAC sponsored one-day national seminar on participatory process in NAC, a binary accreditation system as per new education policy. Firstly, I would like to request Kadpati Madam to give the welcome and introductory speech.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the technical session 2 of IQSA organized NAC sponsored one-day national seminar on participatory process in NAC, a binary accreditation system as per new education policy. So we are blessed to have eminent resource person as the guest for this technical session 2. Professor Dr. Gaurisha sir. So it's my pleasure to welcome uh, resource person Dr. Gaurisha sir on behalf of the KLE Society, Belagavi, on behalf of our esteemed institution, KLE Society's SK Arts College and HSK Science Institute, Hubballi, and on behalf of the August gathering. I also take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Umadevi Nerle Madam, the president of this technical session 2, on behalf of me and the August gathering. So it's my immense pleasure to introduce resource person, Dr. Gaurisha sir. Dr. Gaurisha sir, professor and the director of CESS, Center for Educational and Social Science, Educational Academy, Bangalore. Gaurisha holds BBM degree with the 9th rank from University of Mysore, MBA with a specialization in finance and marketing, and the MPhil in management and PhD from Bangalore University. He has more than 15 years of teaching experience at postgraduate level, teaching management subjects. He has experience in quality management accreditation of higher educational institutions. He served as the assistant professor, coordinator of IQAC, and editorial team member of Management Research Journal at one of the prestigious MBA institutions in Karnataka, namely RV Institute of Management, Bangalore. He worked as chief consultant in the technical secretariat of Committee for Draft National Education Policy with the former ISRO chairman Dr. K. Kasturirangan Committee, constituted by the MHRD Government of India in 2017. He served as honorary secretary in the treasury of CLANS, a Bangalore-based NCO, and was involved in educational projects and has organized many conferences and the public lectures. Gaurisha sir has involved in many research pursuits in the area of management and education. He was co-director for a project sponsored by ICSSR New Delhi. He has delivered close to 100 lectures on NEP at various national seminars, conferences, workshops, and the webinars. Gaurisha is passionate about literature and the theatre also. He has written many plays, poems, and the short stories in Kannada. Dr. Gaurisha sir is a governor nominee member for Academic Council of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar School of Economics University, known as the Base University, Bangalore. He is a visiting faculty at MBA Department of Bangalore University. Presently, he is serving as the director at Center for Educational and Social Science Educational Academy, Bangalore, and he is involved in the NEP 2020 implementation initiatives in Karnataka. With a brief introduction, I present before you all August gathering, Dr. Gaudisha sir. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request our principal, ma'am, to present a memento for Aurisha, sir.
I request Dr. Gaudisha, Professor Director, Center for Educational and Social Studies, CESS Bangalore, will present technical session 2 on the topic NEP 2020 Reimagining the A and A.
Namaste. Good afternoon to all. It's my pleasure to be here to talk on the assessment and accreditation. What is the future in the context of National Education Policy 2020? This side it is pleasure. I think that side it may be a pressure. Because my voice is not so sweet today due to my health condition. What is best possible, I try to reach all of you in the afternoon after having the Jowar roti lunch. I think the moment we talk about national education policy in Karnataka, we have a kind of an illusion that we have implemented NEP in our state, in our university, in our college. Yes, I rightly said it, we are in that illusion. Being part of the entire process of NEP during the Kasturangan Committee from 2017 till the report submitted to Government of India in 2019, started in Modi 1 and submitted in Modi 2 government. I know what is the expectation of NEP from individual to India level, including institutions, every state, and the universities. Having said this, I appreciate the government for taking such a initiative to introduce NEP in the state, where other states were still waiting for some kind of regulatory affairs from the. Normally, they look for UGC in case of higher education, but the government of Karnataka taken a decision to move ahead. Likewise, I think every university in Karnataka had given their own curriculum for undergraduate programs, labeled it as NEP. Not only Karnataka, there are many other states also have implemented NEP. If you strictly ask me, the very first state to take the spirit of NEP is Government of Delhi in case of school education. They came to Karnataka and studied what is that going on, because even before the NEP 2020 approved by cabinet, we in Karnataka constituted a task force to prepare a roadmap for implementation. That is the former IAS officer Ranganath Committee report. Ranganath Committee report detailed out how we need to move ahead in NEP implementation stage wise or in a very phased manner. The strictly we followed that report, still I have my own doubt and many more questions. In that context, Delhi government came to the very then Deputy CM himself came to Karnataka and studied what is it Karnataka's thinking in terms of NEP implementation, specifically school education. Now, states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, they have launched the 4-year undergraduate program in their states. Maharashtra has prepared a detailed plan or a report on the academics as per the national education policy. I had gone through that particular report and they have consulted me also in preparing that. Likewise, most of the states are now into NEP, barring few, one or two states. They are still opposing NEP. Interestingly, some of the states, even in South India, like Kerala and the Andhra Pradesh, they had a neutral. Andhra Pradesh has a neutral stand on the NEP, but Kerala, they said NEP in totality we don't agree. But very interestingly, very recently, the Education Minister of State Government of Kerala said we are going with 4-year undergraduate program. Andhra Pradesh has prepared a beautiful document on the revision of entire curriculum, the very structure and framework in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And the entire thing is actually as per the NEP, the 4-year undergraduate program. But only in the introduction, the person who was chairing that particular committee, in his introduction, he has written somewhere in one of the paragraph that it is in line with NEP. In Karnataka, for every page, we have put label NEP, NEP, NEP. I don't know whether every university now has a new board, they have to put NEP. This board is also as per NEP. So we had gone to that extent. But the many states, politically they have disagreement, but they are in sync with NEP and they are moving ahead with implementation. Second thing, we are already 1 year, 2 years. I think in 1 or 2 years we will have the first batch out from the NEP. With lot of experiences, we exposed ourselves to many things in the name of NEP. I think still there are many questions. I have traveled across the country on NEP, right from Sikkim to Kerala. Most of the states I have gone. Very interestingly, even whether it is a very small workshop or a very big seminar, which I recently attended and delivered a talk in Indore. Questions are not the new questions. In almost everywhere, it is same questions. And most of those questions are still on the basics of NEP. Even if you take a session in Karnataka, I have not seen any drastic changes in the questions what people ask. Only the difference is in Karnataka. In Karnataka, the only difference is people will not ask questions. Many times they explain what problems they are facing. That's the only difference. So otherwise, we are still deliberating upon the NEP 2020 document itself. And having said this, if you look at the history of not necessarily education, any report for that matter, if you start planning, it never ends. And we will spend more time on planning than the implementation. And keep it everything ready and then move on, and nothing will move on and nothing is possible also. Somewhere we have to start and move on. But the starting point is right or wrong, I will not get into that discussion at all, but still, somewhere you have to start. Otherwise, how much time you give, that requires for preparation. Let us say government declare that we will start from 2023 or 2025. Till that time, we will prepare. Again, we will tell we need some more time to prepare. It is like how our students write examinations. You conduct examination tomorrow, all the students will write the exam. And they score the same marks. You can challenge me. Or you give 2 months time or 3 months time, or they may strike and go on strike and ask, we need 15 days holidays for study. Then again you give the examination, they study only in those 15 days and the same score. The difference will be negligible. You keep postpone the examination, they keep postpone the preparation. And the entire time is for preparation, and when it comes to the writing, it is only 3 hours. What you know, only you can write that. And in most of the cases, what you don't know, you can write more. What you know, you can write less. Ultimately, the whole equation comes to same. What is that score? The same score. But I will earned in last 2 months examinations. No change will be there. The same way in NEP implementation also. If you give it time, another 2 months time, 1 or 2 years time, people will take it, and still they prepare. And if you ask them to ask questions, the same questions will repeat. That's all. That is my experience. Even after 2 years, I have conducted a very intensive workshop last week in Bangalore. Not last week, last 1 week, I have conducted an intensive workshop for the faculty members who are sitting very much in the capital of the state. And the basic questions are still repeating. Only thing they have certain problems which they are facing now in implementation that they are talking about. And I gone to last week in Maharashtra, Sangli district. I have conducted a 3 days intensive workshop on NEP implementation. They are ready with many things and they want to have a consultation. Questions are not different. So we have already 2 years experience in NEP implementation. People should call us for consultation. Your madam should go for a consultation in Maharashtra for NEP implementation. But if you go there, also problems or questions are same. Only thing is they are foreseeing the problems, you are experiencing the problems. That's the only difference. Why I'm talking all this? Basically, for many things, we need to have a clarity on the very concept and the very spirit of it. Without understanding the spirit, we move on to the practice. So, between the policy to practice, there is something called planning and understanding the very spirit of the policy. I think that's where we have little lacuna. We not understood the very spirit of NEP and we are not started practicing. So I think this kind of practice will not yield the result which we are expecting. That is my open statement on the implementation of NEP, whether in Karnataka or any state for that matter. At the same time, UGC is also coming out. If you look at the reports which are coming out from UGC in last 2 years, I think every quarter they have two reports, at least two reports in the line of NEP, draft or second version or final version. I think that will not take us anywhere in a very short period of time. So I think people who had shown interest in entire exercise of NEP developing must also show interest in implementation. Otherwise, earlier two policies are also equally good policies. Kothari Commission report, Radhakrishnan Committee report are excellent. For those days, very up, and they have thought of 30, 20 years of that time and they prepared. Only thing is, we badly need a policy at this point of time, no doubt in that. Right people were there in drafting the policy, wonderful idea has been given. So we should not become a failure in implementation. It was happened earlier. So we must put all conscious efforts, steps in implementation. So otherwise, again, a wonderful policy, but failed in implementation. After 25 years, again, you invite me to talk on the failures of earlier policy and aspirations of new policy. So that will be not any useful to any system for that matter, not for university institution, or very small. For entire system, it is not good. But one thing, anything that you would like to see changes in today's context is NEP. So for me, NEP is just a context. So we need to move towards lot of changes, and that change is not incremental change. That is a total change. NEP stated it. That's our luck. That's all. Otherwise, NEP is just a context. It is nothing more than that because after 35 years, we have a new policy. And if you look at the many countries in the world, they are much ahead than us in terms of education. So where we stand. And for our children, what is that we are delaying because of our own ignorance and which we are not able to do in last 10 years at least. So that's the reason NEP is context for us. So in that context, I think Madam has taken a step, the college has taken a step to have a deliberations on the assessment and accreditation. Because I think of late, the assessment and accreditation has become a buzzword. I had gone through a couple of documents where where UGC says it's mandatory to have NAC assessment and accreditation. And in Karnataka state also, while giving affiliation or renewal of that affiliation every year, local inspection committee, they will have invariably one question whether it is NAC accredited or not. I've seen a couple of colleges. Every year for the LIC document, they are writing the same thing. We have applied. Every year, from past 4 or 5 years, that those colleges are writing the same thing. We have applied. So what it mean by we have applied? 4 or 5 years applied means whether you have not submitted your SSR or you are not accredited and reapplied. What is the status? Applied or not? Not applied. Applied. Applied means you are safe. At least you get 0 score, not minus. Not applied means the LIC people who come with a lot of knowledge, they come normally. That much of knowledge is not required for an LIC company, but they come with that kind of knowledge and baggage. So they definitely question why you are not applied. So that's the reason they applied. Same college, 4 or 5 years applied. I never understood what is that application rate. I appreciate this institution, 4th cycle A plus grade. UGC document says the accreditation is mandatory. And if that is the case, I will show you a statistics how many institutions are eligible here in our country to offer the programs in higher education, whether UG or PG or research programs. Negligible. Negligible institutions are eligible. Mass majority of the institutions are not eligible because the mandatory things they are not fulfilled. NAC accreditation is not. And if you look at the NEP document, it also talks about graded autonomy. Every institution, NEP aspires, every college must be autonomous degree granting college. That means every college is going to give the degree. So many times it looks very funny to me. When I was giving the lectures 2-3 years back, before this NEP, pre-NEP period, every conference invariably there was one point: autonomy. Educational institutions must be provided with complete autonomy, no interference. You must look at the university professor used to talk like that. Why university is in the government hands? Why politicians should be there? Must be given complete 360-degree autonomy. Private institutions always they have claimed that we need autonomous status. And people, I never understood what is a 360-degree autonomy. But they have calculated the degree of the autonomy also. That is 360-degree equal, full circle. If that is the case, but after this NEP, now in the post-NEP period we are, or I don't know what to call. For me, it is a transition period. Now questioning what is that autonomy? Why colleges has to be given autonomy to award the degree? You have demanded you need 360-degree autonomous status. As an university, you demanded just 365 days back. And now you are questioning and another institution is getting complete autonomous status. Let us say that is not now, in another 15 years time is there. And you are questioning why we have to give autonomous to an institution. 360-degree, I think 2 degree more is there. 362-degree. That's the reason he is questioning. So this is the whole, we never understood what is that autonomy at all. Now, many professors here, you have to give your answer to this. Look at the whole system. That looks very funny to me. Before NEP, people asked about autonomous. Now they are questioning about the autonomous. And again, the degree you normally this is we need autonomous status for private colleges also. What not this extent? Then what is that extent? That means they can't award the degree. And people question that what is the value of the degree if every college come forward to give the degree. The funny thing is, including this college, is having A plus, comes under a university which is not having A plus never. At least some of these universities are at least A grade. Pathetic situation is university is struggling and people do like this to get B grade. I'm talking about an university. The universe under that affiliated colleges are A grade, A plus grade. Which degree, who has to give degree, which degree has value. These all people must deliberate upon. These are very funny things to me. If anybody put a cartoon writers in there, they must write this. And at the same time, now even affiliated colleges always they have this. This is not from one sided. I have both the two-sided view and critics and all this. You look at the private colleges. For everything, good thing, yeah, we have done. Our college has done this. For skill development, we are doing. University is not asking to do, but we are doing. But anything syllabus, university outdated syllabus. Faculty is yours. Syllabus is outdated, fine. Faculty can make contemporary. Awards, the Mahabharata can be thought as like the Mahabharata period, or it can be thought in like this contemporary period. Old syllabus, whether it is pure science, pure science people also talk about this, it is old syllabus. Having, fine, syllabus is old, but your faculty are, you have a team of faculty, they can make it more contemporary. As a teacher, I can teach what is required for today from that particular syllabus, whether it comes for examination or different, but I can make it more relevant for my students. So far, we had a university to show. Result has not come, university. Delay in result, university. Marks card, university. Now, once you become autonomous degree granting college, at whom you should. That it is your program. Who has prepared syllabus? You are going to prepare the syllabus. Entire curriculum is yours. And who is going to deliver the curriculum? You are going to deliver the curriculum with the same infrastructure, whatever. Who is going to conduct the evaluation assessment? You are going to conduct the assessment. Who is going to give the degree? You are going to award the degree. So entire process happens here. So now whom you blame it? You don't, please, it's not an easy job because you will not have a university to blame. Normally it is, I think it's a very obvious thing. If anything happens, we'll always blame somebody. Then we'll find somebody to blame. So now you have a university to blame. If you become autonomous degree granting college, you will not have a university to blame. You have to blame whom? Yours. And in the market or in the industry, in the academia, reputation comes from where? From your college. What is that you deliver? What is that you certify? The certificate come from your institution. So if you would like to build that value, you have to deliver that value, create that value, deliver it. Then automatically it builds value outside for you. But present scenario, if you look at, problem with the entire system is, at one place we are preparing curriculum, university, normal. Another place in affiliated colleges, delivery is happening. Again, evaluation is happening in some other place. Again, hope all of you are aware, where curriculum is developed in university, same place evaluation will not happen. No connection between department and the evaluation. That comes into registrar evaluation. And he has a separate set of rules and regulations and of course people. That means evaluation happens at another point and then comes to the printing of degree. So this is disconnected. The whole idea of the concept of autonomous degree granting college is because of this reason. Curriculum, development, delivery, assessment should happen at one place by the same people. Then you can have complete a range of methodologies can be applied which fulfills the student requirements. Today we are talking more on outcome-based education, learning outcomes. It can be fulfilled only when you have complete the curriculum development to assessment. If it is with you, you can 100% implement outcome-based education effectively. And that is, otherwise, this disconnected thing is actually the problem. You no need to worry about universities if they don't receive the affiliation fee, what is going to happen? But you need to worry how you can develop the systems within the institution. Why I give this context? Of all these academic deliveries, which are going to be more critical in the days to come. Because this entire autonomy for any college comes through a system of graded autonomy. And that's where the assessment and accreditation is going to play a major role. So that's the reason the entire context which I had given for reimagining the assessment and accreditation is NEP 2020 in this ground. Yeah, some of the things which I repeat from NEP. If you look at the NEP, there are three important transformatory changes. The first transformative change is structural changes. Second one is regulatory reform. Third one is multidisciplinary and holistic education, basically academic changes. Don't look at any other thing in NEP document. These are the three critical things. These are transformatory changes. Rest of the things actually, to facilitate this to happen, those ideas are there. Every institution should become large multidisciplinary institution. With a monodiscipline, if you are offering a single discipline program, your institution should have features of multidisciplinary. That's the reason I think recently UGC has issued a guidelines, finalized version of guidelines on the clustering of institutions, multidisciplinary higher education institutions, cluster. That means if colleges are not able to start different departments, get faculty, not able to offer multidisciplinary programs, they will be part of a cluster. Cluster will be managed by a particular committee, and sharing, caring, anything can happen within this cluster. So, but ultimately, as an institution should become multidisciplinary or be part of this cluster. That is and all the institutions will be under three categories: research intensive, teaching intensive universities, and autonomous degree granting college. If the people who are here from the colleges, for you the target is to become autonomous degree granting college. Or also you can think of, it is not a hierarchy. It is not a hierarchy, it is not a vertical thing at all. It's a very horizontal. Your institution is capable of getting into the research, hardcore research, then you can become a research intensive university also. But I feel most of the colleges which are there in Karnataka are fit to be autonomous degree granting colleges. Very less number are maybe eligible for university. Majority are still not at even the stage of autonomy. So the long journey has to go. So, but they have to fit into this. This, for me, only important thing here it is NAC now, a meta-accrediting body. So far we have NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. But here the NEP is suggesting to have NAC. And this is different from NAAC. So we can have number of assessment and accrediting agencies in the days to come, not only the NAC. And nowhere in the NEP or in the subsequent document, it is said that this NAAC will become NAC. There is no clarity. Most likely it will not happen in that way. And this is very important for every institution. You are going to become autonomous degree granting college, comes through a graded autonomous status. And your institution must be run by an independent board of governors, BOG. And this board of governors is not like your governing council today. It is completely independent. An eminent educationist or somebody from the society must run the affairs of the institution. That is the autonomous governing board. Recently in Karnataka, there was a bill prepared by the government of Karnataka replacing the entire Universities Act. Now, for all state universities, we have Act. So, in the context of NEP, they framed a committee, Athray committee, and Athray committee has submitted report. Based on that, final bill has been prepared. They are completely suggesting at the first level for all universities in the state, the entire structure of the university is going to be changed. Who is going to head the university? Is it VC or any person above the VC? Look at the funniest thing. The governing body of the university syndicate. Okay. And the vice chancellor has to report to syndicate and get the approval. Unfortunately, he is going to chair the syndicate. Where he is chairman, he is going to give the approval. So that's the reason this new act suggested completely a different type of a structure for governance. It is not like existing executive council or syndicate. The vice chancellor is not on the top. He is like a CEO. He is not chairman. So kind of a two-tier structure has been suggested in the new regulation. It was supposed to come the last house for approval. For various reasons, it was dropped in the cabinet meeting. I think maybe this or may never it will come to the house. Because now politically a lot of changes are happening. But otherwise, that is a very good system. You should have an independent board of governors. And you manage your entire institution through a document called Institution Development Plan, IDP. So IDP is the document for regulatory affairs, to manage your institution, for funding, and also for your assessment and accreditation. Because you plan everything as per your own expectations, what is the vision you have, how you can bring the resources to happen. So that is what your plan, short term, medium term, and long term. And accordingly, you have to run your institution. So that's the whole idea of this new governance system proposed in NEP. And the entire academic structure is going to be multidisciplinary and holistic. Skill development, vocational, courses from different disciplines, depth and the breadth, what we call, to prepare a T-shaped professionals of tomorrow, or today or tomorrow. So all this will have breadth as well as the depth. So we bring that multidisciplinary into our program. Every program, whether it is in commerce or in science or arts, whichever area. So you cannot have a block. So to bring that kind of thing, I think a lot of changes should happen. So before creating that kind of an environment, we started into a 4-year undergraduate progress in our state. That's the only mistake. How to call mistake, I don't know, but that's the only in a hurry people have done it. Because we are not used to that environment, then it is not created, and you had gone one step ahead. I had seen even today in many institutions, I don't know here, universities and colleges of reputation. They have commerce block, science block, arts block. It is not just block, it is block culture. So that is the scenario. So in one of the sessions, people asked me, so how can you are talking about so multidisciplinary, all these things, but how it happens? I said, commerce people, arts people in canteen should sit together and exchange their box first. And then all department must be merged. Where people sit faculty, there should not be no department for any faculty. A common area for sitting. All department people will be there. If mathematics professor is looking at right side, should not get a mathematics professor at all. They never talk mathematics. But why should they need a mathematics professor next to that professor? The mathematics professor will talk mathematics only in the classroom, not in the staff. So why you need a mathematics professor? Why can't you have an accounting professor? So that was my answer. These are two things first you have to do. Exchanging your tiffin box is mandatory, and no place to sit in departments. The common department for all faculty members. Then we can think of all multidisciplinary exams. These are all the very much important for in the days to come for your NAAC assessment and accreditation. Whether your institution is multidisciplinary, whether your institution is offering multidisciplinary programs, whether your institution is an affiliate college or an autonomous college, degree granting college, what is your status? Whether you have an IDP, how you are managing your institution, what is the governance and leadership of your institution. All this is going to be an important factor for assessment and accreditation. That's the reason I have taken all this clue from NEP to move on with the change in time. I think a lot of assessment accreditation changes also required. NAAC is not static at all anytime. They are doing very good job from 90s. We never heard about any assessment and accreditation in our country during 90s. There was a good recommendation of that policy, earlier policy, and they started NAAC in Bangalore. From that time till today, lot of experimentation NAAC has done. And they changed the criteria, very methodology, not only criteria, or not only the sub-criteria questions, they have changed the methodology also, couple of times. And they started funding the institutions to organize seminars. They themselves started conducting workshops. Very process they have reformed many times. They have done a lot of consultations, experts' opinions they had gathered. It's a very dynamic and still I feel it is an evolving. NAAC has not reached any stage so far, I believe, in terms of number, in terms of quality, but it is an evolving. So they have done a lot of experimentation because the quality is a culture. It is not an outcome of a process. That may happen in industry. But again, in industry, it's a culture. Every industry is IOSA certified or some kind of quality management will be there, but they are not case studies for any commerce or management B school. There are only exceptional case studies are there from the industry known for quality. So because that's a culture. Just because you are NAAC accredited doesn't mean that you are a quality institution. You in the sense I'm talking generally. So whether quality as a culture is it here, that's where we normally look at it. In building that kind of a culture, the whole system where our country is a mass education system. So building that culture in that kind of a system is not that easy. NAAC is doing quite good in that direction. So evolved, look at earlier they used to give stars, correct? 5-star universities. They changed that grading pattern also. A lot of such experimentation NAAC has done. Now again, it is a time for NAAC, not only for you. You are ready to NAAC and all, still time is there. First be ready with, be NEP ready. Academic structure, your governance, what programs you are offering, all lot of things are there. Then the NAAC. But only thing, that's the reason every institution I am telling the same thing. Don't look at anything in a very short period of time. Don't be cynical. If you are thinking about NEP implementation, if you are thinking about the NAAC, next cycle, everything, please look at it from the long run. So target is fixed for every institution. What is the target? Every institution is going to become autonomous degree granting college in next 15 years. That's the window period given. So every institution, the window period is 15 years, become autonomous, be part of a cluster, from there go to the next level. 15 years, I think it's quite a good time to become a good institution. So that means your target is to become an autonomous college managed by yourself and your degree, not from a university degree. That's the target you have. Whether you achieve it in 15 years or you may take 5 years more, 20 years, but by the end of this policy, you are going to be an autonomous degree granting college. If that is the case, what you have to do today? If that planning is not going to take place in any institution, so after 2-3 years, whether you have implemented NEP, compliance you tick mark. LIC will ask you whether you are fulfilled with all NEP requirements, compliance, tick. Yes is 2 marks, no is 1 mark. No also marks will be there in many cases. Or if you're not answered, 0 marks. Most of the institutions will feel if we answer negative, why should we let us not answer? So no marks, no problem. So, or tomorrow NAC will also come. The people, how, I don't know. Somebody told me if they conducted an NEP workshop, they'll get score in NAC. I asked the NAC people whether you are going to give score if they attend a NAC program or a NEP conference is conducted. No, never they have said it. But people assume that in NEP workshop will give score in the NAC. Workshop may give score in the NAC, but not the NEP workshop, not necessary. So, what is that you build over a period of time in next 15, 20 years where you would like to see as per your strengths and weaknesses today? Opportunities are there. Based on your own core values and what core competencies you have, how you would like to build on and move on so that your institution you would like to see after 15 years as an autonomous college, because we have to read the same paragraph other 2-3 sentences which is more dangerous. If you fail to become the autonomous degree granting college, you will become a constituent college of a university. There is nothing called private. Please understand, in education, nothing called private, it's all public. Because who can run the institution? Only the not-for-profit institutions can run the institutions. Very interestingly, during the COVID time, private schools have gone to a court in North India. Madhya Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, out of these 3 states, one private management had gone to court. Ours is a privately managed school. How government can insist so many things during the COVID period? Something else was the case. High Court first asked that person, what do you mean by private? Every education institution is public. Who is funding? Government funding, government funded public. If it is not government funded, non-government funding, public. Education is public, education is for public, and there is nothing called private institution. The philosophy is, must be a philanthropic approach. A society and not-for-profit motto should be there. That's the whole idea. I could reminded everybody that nothing called private here. It is everything is public. Spirit is public at least. Let us take in that way. So, if you are not going to become autonomous degree granting college in 15, 20 years, constituent college. So that means it will not be in your hand at all. So that the target is fixed for every institution. Now I think you need to plan accordingly. So what is the tool available? What is the condition? It must be graded autonomy. You must get a good assessment accreditation score or something like that, and then you get the autonomous status. So what is that's the reason people, how you can interpret in your own way. That's the reason many times I say, talk to the people, don't be mechanical, be spiritual in this. Let us understand the spirit, not the mechanic of it. Assessment and accreditation, whether NAC or any other agency, it's just a tool. But what is finally is quality. Why NAC is there? Why you get an assessment? Why you are going for an assessment and accreditation? To ensure that I have quality. Today you are applying for NAC. NAC will not come and knock your door and they are not asking, you would like to go for assessment accreditation? No. You apply to the NAC. Why you apply to the NAC? That will showcase that I have quality. There is a two-way. You are submitting self-study report. It's your own report. You are applying to the NAC to showcase your quality. You do your own evaluation. It is a self-evaluation report. That is your own assessment of your own institution. And you are asking NAC to validate it. That's all. This is basically self-evaluation methodology. NAC is following that. They are not evaluating anything. They are not doing any assessment as such. If you go strictly by the term assessment, they are actually what they are doing, validating. Look at their terminology also same. DVD, what is that? Data validation system. You provide everything, they validate whether it is true or false. And if it is true, you get score. If it false, you go to the blacklist. And peer team will come to give a final shape to it. So that means now quality is at that level. That means I have quality, come and check and certify me. Now I think if you build that quality as a culture within the institution, whether NAC comes or any other agency comes, whether the condition is your accreditation, etc., that will happen automatically so that you can reach that autonomous status. So your plan should be towards autonomous degree granting college. For that, you need to improve the quality as aspired in NAP. For that, you will have a NAC assessment and accreditation in the days to come. The revised kind of a criteria, everything. A lot of work NAC is also doing now. Very many times it looks contradictory or I don't know, make fun or I don't know. We have done a survey in CES. Whether parents and students are looking at NAC assessment accreditation and joining the college, data has not proved us. Parents or students, they have not said no, it's a NAC accredited A grade college, so I should go and join. It is not happening that way at all. Except in professional courses, they are looking at what is the level of little educated people will look at it. So otherwise, college chala ಐತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಹಡಿ ಚಲೋ ಐತೆ ಅಂತ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ there is nothing called NAC A grade college ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ ಅಂತ I have never heard this. And data also proved the same thing. If I ask the students here to raise their hand by looking at A grade whether you have joined college, I think no hands will come on. That's the fact. Parents are looking at no. Students are looking at it no. Then who are looking at it? This maybe government is counting how many colleges are getting quality so that I can showcase at the global level. Or maybe institutions are looking at, if you ask any institution tomorrow, if they issue an order, NAC is not mandatory. The NAC, wherever the number is there, it will be static over there. No new college will add to the NAC list. So the very spirit and culture, if you're not bring into the institution and individuals, nothing will move on. Look at this scenario. All this assessment accreditation, in most of the cases, it is basically a system running kind of a thing. You ask a college faculty, they will also, are you proud that you are working in a A-graded college? Summation, they may feel happy, but they never feel proud. Naturally, that's the requirement. In a welfare scheme, if they introduce, they will be happy. So, the whole scenario is for assessment and accreditation, not to build a quality culture. The NEP actually intend to build that quality culture among the institutions and individuals. So it is not just an institutional transformation, it is systemic transformation. That's where we are heading towards. From 1984, 2016, they changed the subject, star rating to numerical gradings, and the CGPA score, how calculation, everything has gone a complete changes. They changed the structure of it. Framework is almost same. Here and there, they changed the criteria, questions, etc. So they have done everything. Now I think most of these are ICT based now. Everything is technology enabled. They are following. But again, it is a data driven. Completely data driven system. And NAC is also experimenting with that. Now more of objective than the subjective, very recent. And I think they are now with a provisional accreditation process that they are introducing. So all this, that means the entire process is very dynamic. So handling that kind of a magnitude of mass education is very difficult. But NAC is doing extremely good in that case. But only thing is, some of these statistics, if you look at, I had given the number of universities which are there in India. Colleges are there, roughly 45,000 colleges are there. Ayush report recent says 43,300, close to 44,000. Then by the time now, it is 45 plus thousands of colleges are there in our country. Universities, look at, there are 1,074 universities are there. Okay, these are all latest UGC 2023 data. This is little older, 5 months, 6 months older data. Maybe percentage wise, negligible percentage has been increased number wise. Forget about A plus, all this grade. Look at the number of institutions. 6,201 colleges. Out of how many? Out of 45,000, around 6.5 thousand colleges have been accredited so far. Universities, 1,000 plus universities, roughly 370 universities are accredited. This is the scenario. And UGC says accreditation is mandatory, applied every year. So this is the number. Now how to move on? And NAC is not delaying any process. Application comes, they review it, they do it quickly. 6 months time they may take. Applications are not coming, that's the thing, or they are not eligible to apply, and in the application itself they fail. Not accredited institutions also very less in terms of number. Applied and not accredited also less. Institutions which are not gone for accreditation for various reasons are mass majority. Now, NEP says all 45,000 colleges should become autonomous degree granting college. They must go through a rigorous process of NAC assessment and accreditation. Figure is in front of you. Please look into this. NEP, certain aspirations. I think it's a good time that we had this NEP with big ideas and aspirations. Now, you make all possible strategies. See that all institutions should become autonomous and degree granting with a NAC accreditation, NAC or any other agency in the days to come. That means quality must be the focus for every institution. From government to all institutions, focus must be improvement of quality, even in government colleges and universities for that matter. So that is the scenario. That means you cannot ask every institution, even their own government colleges, many are not accredited at all. For various reasons. Now it's the responsibility of the system to build an enabling environment for assessment and accreditation. NAC also can't do anything. They can, at least they can, maximum they can go for a capacity building workshop for all the institutions, how they have to prepare everything, or what are the quality strategies they can take, everything they can do it with the limited resources what they have. You look at the international accreditation system. There they will not directly allow you to apply for accreditation. At the first application, they will give time, 6 months to 1 year time to prepare for assessment and accreditation. Compulsory. You can't say I'm prepared. No. 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. In that, they conduct several workshops and discussions with your institution. It is not just documentation, or it is not preparing of all documents for assessment accreditation. They say the system is built in within the institution. Then they say you are ready. Everything is yours. So this is the way forward. You have to go like this. When you achieve this in 1 year, we come for assessment and accreditation. and they do the assessment afterwards. So look at here, they build an environment and set a stage for you for assessment accreditation. They do capacity building for assessment and accreditation. Then they come and assess. Then if you are good, you get good grading or rating, etc. Otherwise, you get a normal grading, just accredited or with grade, whatever. Different international agencies have different kind of a rating of the institutions or grading of the institutions. But in India, for one single organization, it is very difficult. So that's the reason the NEP thought that we should have more number of assessment accreditation so that they can build that environment. They can build that stage. पहले मोहल्ला बना है. Then do the workshops, do the capacity building work. Then go for assessment and accreditation. Institutions are ready, go for assessment and accreditation. Builds on it, build that quality culture. Long run, let all institutions become autonomous or whatever. At least we can provide quality education to all. The main purpose will be served. That's the whole idea of NEP, to form one NAC and have multiple assessment and accrediting agencies. NAC will give the framework. We can have good number of, every state can have their own required number of assessment and accrediting agencies, depending upon the numbers which they have to go for assessment and accreditation. Depending upon that numbers, they can have. And even you should look at the map, quality map of NAC. Only few states are concentrated. Remaining states, numbers are even negligible. We are better. Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, few states are better. So the rest of the country is still far, far behind. So when we have multiple such agencies, all this is possible. Do that kind of capacity building, ready, create that environment, and then set the target and work on the assessment. And NEP is very clear. All this will happen through a basic norms, public self-disclosure, good governance, and outcomes. For entire your assessment and accreditation, these are the things. Self-disclosure, I think we don't have in the institutions. Look at the Companies Act companies. They have self-disclosure. So every financial activity, every strategy they disclose in their annual report, which comes under the Companies Act. But we don't have as an institution, a self-disclosure mechanism itself is not there. Only thing is we provide data, everything, every data will provide to Ayush report or to the local inspection committee, etc. If that comes on the public domain, fine. So otherwise, the self-disclosure mechanism is not there in the education fraternity. Good governance, leadership and governance is the problem with the institutions in education sector, and outcomes. It is educational outcomes and learning outcomes. I think we need to move towards this in terms of our academic offerings that we make in our institutions. So that is going to become the criteria for assessment and accreditation. So the way forward is binary accreditation. I think we have today A plus, A double plus, all this grading system is there. NEP says in the long run, we must go for binary accreditation. Either institution is accredited or not. The NEP expect to have a robust system of accreditation. Problem is, for example, to start an institution or renewal of affiliation, you must have certain basic things. Without that, fulfilling that, you are not eligible to run your institution. If that is not equivalent to your lower grade of NAC, then how you are giving permission to start and run an institution is itself is question mark. Lower grade of NAC, quality accredited, if that is not fulfilled and you are running your institution, is it not a question mark? Many institutions, they are not fulfilling these basic things and they are running their institutions. They are eligible. Regulatory affairs had given them the approvals. But if they go to NAC, minimum score to get accredited at the lower end, not possible. This is the scenario. So, technology enabled is fine. How to get into the real time technology enabled software or tools for assessment accreditation is the way forward. But we have a lot of digital divide and many other things. With all such limitations, way forward is using artificial intelligence and real-time data upgradation for assessment and accreditation. That is what the expected thing. Today, what we have is input-based system. But what is required is an outcome-based system. So real-time data is required. Student satisfaction survey is going to be the critical. Alumni feedback, function-based outcomes, and learning outcomes. But today, what is that we are giving all these reports. Every year we give AQAR and they will do the data validation, peer team visit. This is the process we are following now. There must be a complete shift in this. Student satisfaction survey, even today their NAC is conducting in a limited manner. In a limited manner they are conducting. But I think they need to revisit that. NAC is very quite open in that direction. They are willing to revisit the changed scenario. They are working on it. So student satisfaction survey must be very comprehensive. And it is not just a very few sample based survey. And it must be a real time survey. Now, there are 2-3 critical things. Finally, the entire, if you look at the entire system of education, what we have today, if you look at even the NAC criteria, the 7 criteria, whatever they have, if you observe this I have taken from a white paper on NAC assessment and accreditation. I think you have all referred it. Bhushan Patwardhan ji has prepared it along with Mohanan. The whole scenario, if you look at everything is, for example, you do have all these academic resources, library, lab, computer lab, etc. Do you have all the facilities, classroom, ICT, technology, physical infrastructure? Do you have faculty? How many are qualified? What is their qualification? PhD, how many? Do you have a system, quality system, student support system, all this? What it facilitates? Whether student service and support, your teaching, learning, whatever that, research, including extension activities, all this is a facilitating factors. So finally, assessment is happening on the facilitating factors, whether facilitating factors are good or not. But what it facilitates? All this, including quality system to governance system, teaching learning to research, student support system to faculty quality, all this facilitating what? It is facilitating teaching learning process in the institution. It's entirely to enable a good learning in the colleges. Will you agree with me? This is for learning. Why you have a library? Why you need a library? For good learning. Why NAC is asking whether you have innovative teaching practices, list out. This is for better learning. You take any of this out of this criteria, most of these are linked to, basically it facilitates the learning. But come to another way, there is another way to look into it. Today we are all going to follow outcome-based education. Learning outcomes is the thing. But unfortunate is that after preparing syllabus, we prepare outcomes. That is most unfortunate. In our case, marriage should happen first. But here, we'll keep the daughter or son name, everything, and then marriage. This is, I had seen recently, these are all happening here in Karnataka. So it starts from outcomes. You define the outcomes for your programs, and that largely you derive it from the graduate attributes. For whole country, there is a one graduate attributes that has been given from the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. NHUQF document is very much available in the public domain. Refer it. This time, the beauty of the document is they had given descriptions for each of it, and every yearly what is expected is also described. That's the beauty of the document. Little bulky, but must read for all the faculty members if you are a teacher professional in this particular profession. So now graduate attributes are there. Your graduate must fulfill that. He must go out with these competencies when he go out from your institution or university. And you are offering program. In that program, you have chalked out the program outcomes. You have course outcomes, blah, blah, blah. All that outcomes are there. Finally, this outcome decides what is the content, syllabus, what is your curriculum. That decides by outcome. Then your classroom delivery mechanism, whether project work or a innovative pedagogy that you use or ICT that is used, or you make a self-learning kind of a module that you prepare, experiential learning, people are using 108 words today. All that comes from this outcome. If I teach like this, whether can I derive this outcome among the students? That means you are teaching learning that is based on outcomes. Finally, your assessment. This assessment also outcome driven. Why you do this assessment? Whether there is any gap in terms of learning, so that I can fulfill. It is assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. So that you can ensure these competencies are built among the students. So outcomes, whether including knowledge, skill, competencies, which are decided even before you chalk out the program, that decides everything. Or from there we derive everything, including assessment tool. Finally, educationally, what is that you are looking to? Whether outcomes are achieved or not. To achieve all this, you need faculty, you need qualified people, you need skill development labs, you need library, all this for these learning outcomes. So, finally, what is to be checked to see the quality in your institution is that outcomes. If we do a test on the learning outcomes among the students, we'll come to know whether quality is maintained or not. PhD faculty, you no need to have a count. That are regulatory affairs. If minimum is not fulfilled, you are out of the scenario. Your library is there or not, everything comes from this learning outcomes. So, the problem is we are not towards quality, we are more towards facilitating what is there or not. So, I think this is where the entire thinking, there should be shift. So, that is the spirit of NEP in which we need to look into the assessment and accreditation. Let us say tomorrow the NAC is revisiting entire criteria. They are redrafting completely, let us say. So Patwardhan and Mohanan, with lot of effort, they have done consultation like anything. They have proposed this new criteria also. I will not get into all those things. It is their recommendation in terms of a white paper. It is not a committee report also. It has a value of paper only. But it is a thinking of a chairman of the executive council of NAC. That in that case, it is very important. Tomorrow, let us say, NAC will say that we are going to conduct a test for all your students on the outcomes. Because NEP talks about higher order cognitive abilities of students. Your degree program must provide that kind of a competencies to the students. If that is fulfilled with your students, that means there is quality. You don't need to worry at all. You can avoid any grade. So tomorrow they say that for all your students with higher order cognitive abilities, we give a test. And that is having a weightage in the entire assessment accreditation. All students must take the take. It is an AI based, artificial intelligence based test, technology enabled. Then we will understand what is quality of. If I think if NAC starts thinking at the direction, at least we will see people will or institutions will, in the right spirit, they start implementing outcome-based education at their institutions. Then even the parents are responsible for coming to the institution and asking for placement. Whether to sit there is place or not, it is immaterial. Placement is there or not is the question. How many chairs are in library? No parent will come and ask. But whether placement is there, they will ask. And you give any figure, any number, any names of the company, they will say okay. But how placement can happen? How placement can happen? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಕುದುರೆನ ನೀರು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ನೀರು ಕುಡ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಹಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಉಪ್ಪು ಹಾಕ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಕುದುರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಉಪ್ಪು ತಿನ್ಸಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯುತ್ತದೋ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮಗೂ ನೀರು ಕುಡ್ಸೋಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಉಪ್ಪು ತಿನ್ಸಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯುತ್ತದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಈ ಎಂಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಹಂಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಯಿ ಬಾಲ ಅಲ್ಲಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದ್ರ ಬಾಲ ನಾಯಿನ ಅಲ್ಲಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ is actually dictating everything. You ask the students, ನೀವು ಪಾಠ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇದೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಡೀ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಸರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್, ಆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್. ಅದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬಂತಂದ್ರು ಅವರೇ ದೇವರು. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆವಯ್ಯ ಈ ಅಪ್ಪ ಆಯಮ್ಮ. So the one examination is dictating the quality of teacher and entire your teaching learning process. ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ದು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು, ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಡಿಕಟ್ಟೆ ಹತ್ರ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ಸಿದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಒಂದಾರು ಬಂತ ನೋಡು. ಪಾಪ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಯಾರು ನನ್ನಂತ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇಲ್ದಿರೋನ್ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, 21st century skills must be integrated with your teaching learning process. Is a physics professor ಪಾಪ, ಆತ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್. ಈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ತಿರುಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಒತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅದು ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಮೋಟರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸಿ ನೋಡಿ ಯಾಕೆ ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಬುಕ್ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಪಾಪ ಈ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ತಿರುಗೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಟೀಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಬಂದ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದ ದಿ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ 21st century ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್, ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಸರ್ ಕೆರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹೋದ್ ಒಂದಾರು ಬಂತ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಹೋಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಬಾಲ ನಾಯಿನ ಅಲ್ಲಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. This is the scenario. On the other hand, there is a problem also. Normally, I put that slide since it is not so relevant. I had not put the cartoon. ಒಬ್ರು ನಾಯಿನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು, ದಿನ ಹರಟೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಿಗೆ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹೊಡಿಯೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹೌದೇನಪ್ಪ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹೊಡೆಯೋದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹೊಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಯಿ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಮರ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾಯಿ ವಿಸಿಲ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದು ಕಲ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ? ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್, ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. So this is the outcomes are for this purpose. The quality is actually comes from these outcomes. If outcomes are achieved, the problem is all this. All these people who are taking training program on the outcome based education, they are as if they are thinking that they are the people who signed Washington Award with our NBA accreditation. They made it so complicated and so technical. Our people don't know what is an outcome, how to derive the outcome. Then Google sigatre, search hakri sigate. They will only tell Bloom's taxonomy, active verbs, take this and write it. ನಾನು ಬರೆದು ಸರಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಗೂಗಲ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಗೂಗಲ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡಿ. He is more interested to showing that mapping. ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್, ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಬೈ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಅವರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಉಂಟಾನ. And mapping also it is very simple one. If you understand the outcome, you can do yourself the mapping. Why you students can do the mapping? We never understood what is the outcome, how to derive, how to write the outcome. What is the outcome? Then I can prepare my content accordingly. I select my methodology, pedagogy, andragogy accordingly. Then everything happens automatically. If I write assessment tool, I can even ensure whether outcomes are achieved or not. I can do my own mapping. Software not required. But these training people, they have taken big money and they'll show, so this is how we can do all this. At the end, they will suggest you a software also. Then no, this is not the way at all. So point here is, if we start at the NAC, today all facilitating things are assessed. Not the outcomes. Student satisfaction survey is also a facilitating assessment. Giving a test to the students just to check whether these outcomes, which are decided by the institution actually, whether the students are able to exhibit it, whether it is achieved, and that means everything is in place. So I think days are not much far. I have a couple of things to share finally. One is, today we have different types of institutions. NAC is not catered to this, everything is in now. Most of the institutions, categories of institutions under NAC, even online courses are going through a NAC assessment accreditation in the days to come, and the degrees are equivalent to degree what you award. So now NAC has to rework on this category. Still some more number of years, affiliate colleges will continue, autonomous degree granting colleges will come up, two types of universities, because you need to have a different set of criteria for all this. Many can be common, but at least some criteria, some evaluation points are different for these categories. NAC must be ready with requirement of all these different types of institutions. I think already I mentioned about approval and accreditation. Your approved means that minimum quality must be there. That means the system at least must be in place. Then you can get into the accreditation. Otherwise, all this short-term provisional will not build any quality culture. I'm sorry. And summative versus formative assessment. I think at least after NEP, you heard this summative assessment 108 times. Not less than that every faculty. There must be formative assessment. Yeah, I think formative assessment is what continuously you do the assessment for students. That is not formative assessment. It must form, it must develop that competencies, capabilities, etc. among the students. That's the whole idea. For students to award the degree, we are suggesting, and now people are bombarding with the lot of tools that is called formative assessment. For assessment and accreditation of institutions, it is summative. 5 years data you provide, one time assessment, you are given the grade. AQR, whether anybody is going through the AQR, we don't know so far. But we have to submit AQR. Fail to submit before the next cycle, you submit all the 5 with a letter. That means there is no formative. Quality, assessment and accreditation, it is not just grading your quality. It is building, maintaining, maintenance, improving, and accreditation, grading. It is building, maintaining, improving, and grading. So, I think NAC must evolve with a rubric, assessment rubric for formative assessment. IQS ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಈಗಲೇ ಚಳಿ ಜ್ವರ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು AQR ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ, ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಹತ್ರ ಅಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನು IQS ಏನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್. ಇನ್ನು ಅವರು ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ 2 months 1 month ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೇನ್ NAC ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲೇ 3 ತಿಂಗಳು 6 ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. No, it's all must be real time data. Real time data, artificial intelligence driven, technology enabled. We are not moved to that level so far in terms of even technology and software. If that comes, formative assessment for institutional accreditation is also not far behind. I think NAC in the next step, if they are going for a big step in terms of reworking on the entire assessment and accreditation, they must go for formative assessment in addition to summative assessment for accreditation of the institutions. In the process, that is what you will not only check and evaluate whether quality is there or not. You will see that is it maintained, improved, assessment for learning better. We have done a study. How many institutions consistently moved on to the grading or at least maintained? Many institutions, even from A grade to B plus, they have actually moved backward. And NAC insists establishment of IQAC after assessment accreditation. You established IQAC, internal coordination cell, after you declared in quality. Before IQAC, you are quality A grade. You established IQAC, your grade is A from A to B plus or B. So why this? I think you must go for a formative assessment for even accreditation purpose. Binary accreditation is the way forward. Accredited or not accredited. But interesting thing, the same particular document also talks about this, and even the NAC NEP during the NEP time also discussion happened. Binary accreditation is worldwide accepted. Grading is not required at all. You have ranking, enough ranking is there today. So you will be ranked in some other ranking, not necessarily in the grading. At the same time, your programs, now today all programs are not accredited. Your institution is accredited, but your program is not accredited. There is two things, institutional accreditation and program accreditation. Program accreditation is possible for only few of the professional programs, that is by MBA and engineering program, they are accredited. Program accreditation. Actually, NAC as a mandate, it has accreditation of both institutions and programs. I think they need to look into that. The new assessment accreditation, they must get into the accreditation of assessment and accreditation of both institution and programs. Programs, it links to outcomes. So otherwise, it only facilitating accreditation. In such case, I think today we have different units, departments, etc. Departments or units or program wise, if you are doing assessment and accreditation, there you can give grading A, B, A plus, whatever grading you can give. Because program must be differentiated. You have a commerce program may be different from the arts. Your quality of commerce program may be better than science program. But when you take it to the overall rating of your institution, grading of your institution, the commerce score may give score for all other departments. In one of the university in Karnataka, let me not name the university. It's many of the old public university. Mainly with one important program which they are running and which is fantastic in the state and had fantastic industry link. Due to that, their entire university is accredited at the A consistently. Next cycle they face the problem because that institution is detached from the university now. Either university has to work this 5 years hardly or hard work, they get the good, same they can maintain A. Otherwise, I have my own doubt. So that means your all programs are not equal, A, not fit to that. So that's the reason, as an institution, binary accreditation, accredited or not, within that program or your department can be given a grading. So that is what the thinking. But there are challenges. One is so far we have not understood the NEP in terms of spirit. Spirit of the NEP not understood. We are into practice. So I think we must get into the cultural shift what we are heading towards. People are talking mindset and all, but I call it as a cultural shift. So I think we are heading towards a cultural shift in terms of our own teaching learning process, how we design and deliver programs, and how we manage our academic affairs, including assessment and accreditation. So there is going to be a cultural shift. ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ರೀತಿನೇ ಹಂಗೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. All discussion sessions like this will happen. Finally, when tomorrow you sit in your cabins, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ ಬಿಡಿ, ಇದೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೋಡೋಣ, IQAC ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ. Students also will ask, tomorrow outcomes are important. Your ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ನ, ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಏನು ಭಾರಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ದು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒಂದು ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು, ಅದೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಫೈನ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್, ಅದೊಂದು ಪಾಪ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರು. ಅದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಫುಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ಕೇಸು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಡೀ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು MBA ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ಹೌ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಕೇಸಸ್. ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ನೀವು ನಾನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಮೇಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ, ನೀ ಏನ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದೇನು ಹಂಗ ಓದ್ಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟೆ. ನೀ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೇನು, ನೀ ಹಂಗ ಓದ್ಕೋ, ನಿಂಗೇನ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಬೇಕಾರೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಅದು ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅದೇ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. The way it is actually teaching learning happened in that way actually basically. So I think there were all these changes required. That is a cultural shift basically. We are in that particular stage unless otherwise. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, 2-3 ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬಾರ. ಹೆಣ್ಮಗಳು ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ತವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗಂಡ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ NEP ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ಬೇರೇನೋ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಗಂಡು ನಾವು ಬೇದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಿನ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಇದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಅಪ್ಪಂದರಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋದು, ಮದುವೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಲಾಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. With the new credentials login, then I think everything happens. That is what the cultural shift I'm talking about. There are challenges. Of course, there are challenges. At least these days, earlier, whenever people used to call me for conferences, most of the time it becomes headache to listen to the problems. At least now people are talking about challenges. I think NEP has brought that change largely, that people are talking about challenges. I'm happy. At least you talk about challenges means there is something to do. If you talk about problems, wherever you are there, you'll be there. All these challenges are there. Sources of evidence, because for everything that you cannot depend on data validation, that means you have to go for evidence. Such a mass that we are thinking about, one institution, several departments. What is the sources of all this? This is very limited. And the very ecosystem, the entire, whether you are in city or in rural area, we are not completely, we are not in the mood to shift for IT enabled. There are still challenges are there. Not only the divide, even in the urban areas, there are challenges about technology adoption. People are not trained on that in many cases. I think that must be taken care properly, otherwise it is a challenge. Diversity is there. How to capture the diversity? You cannot look at institution only from certain tools and techniques. It is not a mechanical one. Machine produced by Tata, machine produced by Birla. There is something called Birla. There is something called Tata. Like that, every institution, whether you use same software, same program that you offer, everything same. The faculty are also equally competent, everything. But institution, KLE, it's an institution itself is a KLE institution. Some other institution, SDM college, is an STM college. There is something called all these things are there. It is very unique. That actually brings the very purpose of running that institution. So that kind of diversity is there. How to handle that? Assessing institution itself is challenging now, and programs. Every program, every program assessing is a challenge. So attributes of educatedness, and I told you outcomes, higher order cognitive abilities, very subjective today. How to quantify it? I said very easily give a test, but how to make it happen? It is possible. It is possible. With all the technology, it is possible to do. You get the real-time data that gives the clear understanding of the institutional quality, maintenance, improvement strategies, everything. So I think we need a comprehensive rubric we need to work. And I think all this suddenly launching also problem. We need to have sustainable tools. Test it, look at it, how it works, diversified area. Then full-fledged launching is always better. Only problem with many times the system is that they do a pilot and immediately they launch. I think we should not get into that. Or we do a lot of consultation, stakeholder consultation, expert review, everything we do, set a standards and then launch. I will not accept with that also. I think we need to give that kind of an experience to certain institutions. And from that experiences, the NAC or any other accreditation agency or body must have learnings. Then I think then it is better to launch full-fledged. And more than that, in between, any shortcuts we should not find out. Institutions finding shortcuts is okay, but agency should not find interim. I will announce this. I think that's going to be disaster. So we should not do that. Better take little more time, build that consensus, take every factor into consideration. I think then we get into the process of assessment and accreditation. And that will be good. I think I had given topic reimagination. I think we need to get into really imagination. From that, if you bring to reality, also no problem. So, but we need to have that imagination properly, scientifically, understanding the very ecosystem and what challenges that we are going to face. As rightly identified NEP 2020, I think we need to move towards that. Otherwise, nothing will move, only all these changes will happen. It becomes another routine. I think we are not doing all this for to create another routine. Correct? So at least people who are sitting here may be serious. Students are also very serious. They are all seriously looking at me when this fellow will stop. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions from the students on the NEP? ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಏನಪ್ಪ ನನ್ನ ತಲೆ ಕೂಲ್ ನೋಡಿ ವಯಸ್ಸೈತೆ
Dear delegates, any queries?
First, let me take questions from the students. Every class goes like that. Or all bombarding last. Do you have any questions? No questions. Thank you very much. But ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಬಿಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Any questions
On
regarding
NEP, based on your experience,
Muskan?
whatever that you have, you can ask any question. Faculty can also ask if you have any questions. I'm happy to take the questions. If any questions are there, fine. Yes, sir.
Afternoon, sir. I am Nitin, basically commerce background. So my question is, while introduction of NEP, they told it's an innovation, new topic, but come to the syllabus. It's a commerce syllabus is like that, where while we studying, some of the concepts are outdated for us. They removed from the syllabus. They introduce it now. So we are teaching the concept which is for us it's outdated. For students it's we are introducing in a old one in a new bottle. And same thing about the evaluation, where entry and exit is free. After 1 year completion of NEP, you can go to any other college, but results are coming after completion of that semester. So now situation is like that where students cannot go with the evaluation, cannot go with the say exam. So NEP, the concept is good, but while implementation we are facing a lot of difficulties in the student wise, where students getting a fail in 3 to 4 subjects, where they have a confident, but they can only revaluation for a 2 subject. And there are many lot of errors in the implementation, where the last at the end of the time the students are getting target, and the syllabus is looking like a syllabus is not for the students, it's for a faculty. I am comfortable to teach, I keep the syllabus. Go out of the hell, students can do anything. So faculties are very comfortable to teach this subject. They are introducing this subject. They don't know whether it is practically implemented or not. So this is my experience regarding the NEP, sir.
ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಏನದು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತು ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವೈನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವೈನ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಬಾಟಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಟ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪೇ, ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಜ್ಜಾರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. Old. Anyway, in a lighter way. At least new bottle. It is that bottle is cleaned up, it is fine. But for every bottle they are putting NEP label is the problem. One is, you only told what is the problem with all this. I don't need to highlight anything. Who prepared this syllabus? Again, the faculty members. Maybe sitting in universities or some colleges, doesn't make any difference in terms of the knowledge. What is convenient for me to teach, I will bring that. For me, this is the syllabus convenient, I will bring it. Who has to think that I should give it useful for students today and tomorrow? We. But we are thinking that it is ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಸ್ಟ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ, I can teach easily. That's the whole thing. And worst case is in many among the many teachers, they don't know what is the latest thing at all. For them, this is the latest thing. What they learned in 2006 is the latest thing in even in 2023. How can you expect them to give the new. Above all, there is one more problem. This I accept. I don't accept as a faculty, you don't know updated one, I accept. I don't accept, but okay. Let us forget for a moment. There is an ecosystem. Just look at I will give your own example, commerce. You can go for a strike against me. I'm also belong to say fraternity. You just look at the commerce people. If you make any changes, your commerce fraternity will be against that. This is something not acceptable at all. You hold it as a commerce and you hold it as a commerce. So that's the reason every year you do the same thing as commerce. Industry is 20 years ahead, but your commerce is now here. And the beauty of the commerce faculty is if you give any subject, they'll make it as commerce subject. Yeah. Any subject. Sir, business analytics, they made it a business analytics. You give tomorrow give Kannada, there's some business Kannada. You give any subject, sir, they make it as commerce. And teaching also, they say only commerce people can teach it. Economics, they call it as business economics. They said business they don't know, economics they know, but we are teaching business economics. Arts faculty should not teach business economics. There are court cases, nonsense. Yeah. Already economics ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತ್ರಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗೋದು. So the faculty are actually doing all this. You have not invited me to syllabus committee at all. If I had invited, I think half of the faculty will resign and go. New fresh people will come to teach because they don't know subjects. So this is all problem with the faculty members. Number one. Number two, problem with the system also. Why are you giving approval for all those things? And where NEP said to change the syllabus, show me in the 60-page document. NEP has not asked to change the syllabus. NEP asked to change the whole system. The curriculum development is an important process, and you must follow that process. That is the NEP expectation. So this is the problem in transition period in Karnataka. I think it's not a long run effect. In the long run, if NEP is going to be the same, I think you don't need to worry at all. So that's the reason. NEP is not the reason for it at all. Second one, multi-entry exit. It is not even 1 year. During the program, the student can take courses from other institutions. That is possible. Your student can take course, 1 or 2 courses of 4 credits, 8 credits from the other institution where he get eligibility to take the course. He can earn the credits. It will be deposited in Academic Bank of Credit. So that is possible. So 1 year exit, it is actually exit, not transfer. Transfer is separate case. So that is what technically we are not aware of it. There is something called transfer, one institution to another institution. It is not exit. It is just a transfer. During the program, during the semester, also student can earn credits from other institution by taking courses over there, not necessarily from your institution as per NEP. As per latest UGC regulations also permitted that. Academic Bank of Credit already in place to facilitate that. Number 3, exit is only for those students who quit the program after first year, second year. They get the certificate and diploma. That too only when they complete 4 additional credits of vocational course. Otherwise, the exit doesn't have any value. Any other questions, sir, that related to that I missed to answer? Okay. Yes.
So, BSc first year they introduced SEC as a BSc language only, but during second year they introduced the SEC subject as a artificial intelligence and other technical subjects. But we don't have any technical background, so we studied that subject. There's no teacher facility also for teaching us. We want to study on online also.
What is the SSC? What is it?
Artificial intelligence.
What? Which category? Course from other discipline.
Yes, sir.
Open elective. Skill enhancement course.
Skill enhancement. During first year, they introduced GSCC as a choice for selecting SEC. But during second year, they introduced artificial intelligence and cybersecurity.
No, basically, I understood your point. I have three types of answer for this. One is in NEP, it is very clearly said what is the real skills that are required for student. You must have a basket of subjects. Student will have the choice. From that basket, student can select a particular course and they can learn. But in Karnataka, in the skill enhancement course, they built as a mandatory. That too artificial intelligence, self-learning mode. So that is arrangement with the NASCOM. So what I was told that if students are not able to learn online, the colleges can support them. But colleges also need people, faculty who can teach the artificial intelligence subject. So otherwise, I don't know whether to recommend or not. You directly ask who has offered to you, your university or KSHs. I don't know whether to recommend this or not, but let us understand one thing. Artificial intelligence is nothing to do with technology only. There is a whole lot of mechanism which connects into every walks of your life. Today, whether you want it or not, your mobile phone has artificial intelligence. It is taking every information of yours and giving it to somebody. If you are using Gmail, it has artificial intelligence. Google Gmail, you just type dear sir, and you start from greetings of the day. Even before that, it pop-ups and it offers all solutions to me many a times. All is nothing but artificial intelligence. Today, insurance companies are using social media by using artificial intelligence to check your emotions and your behavior, neuroscience. Artificial intelligence has come to your kitchen, bedroom, everywhere. Understand that artificial intelligence in terms of all this is very, very critical. So, some of the things you don't need a technology background, but an understanding of that is very essential today. Maybe that is the objective of university or the body to offer that particular course. So, and more importantly, self-learning is the best learning. I'm not denying that you need a coach or a faculty, but you must become a lifelong learner. So in the lifelong learner case, after college, who will teach you? After joining your a company, you have to learn many things. Nobody will come and teach you. They may conduct a small training program. Rest, you have to go through a course. Ask any people in the IT industry today. Every year, 2, 3 exams they have to take and they have to clear. So that is basically, unless otherwise you clear it, your job is not confirmed. It will be renewed every 6 months. So get into the self-learning mode. I think one such opportunity you are getting. Positive thinking. So otherwise, I am with you. Any other question?
Any other queries?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. My last slide is very important. One is I would like to thank all of you for patiently listening to me. And I thank Madam Principal and the entire college for giving me this opportunity. So thanking, gratitude is always critical, important. And the slogan is also important for all of us. Where there is a will, there is a way. If you forget this, nothing will happen in your life. And also, if you would like to contact me or any doubt that you would like to write, available, you can write to. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Namaskar.
Don't be afraid of giving up the good and go for the great. Thank you, sir, for a very informative session on NEP 2020, reimagining the assessment and accreditation. Now I request Kadpati Madam to felicitate Dr. Gauri sir with a moment. I request the dignitaries to be on the stage. Now I request Rupa Madam from KLE's JH College Haveri to give the feedback about one-day seminar sponsored by NAC.
Very good evening to all. This is Rupa from KLE's JH College, Haveri. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing seminar on a very contemporary and relevant topic, which is NAC accreditation process in the light of NEP. So we are really glad that we gained the acquaintance of three eminent speakers, Dr. Gaurisha, Dr. Chaitra, and Dr. Panchanathan Sir. Needless to say, both the technical sessions, they rendered a very pragmatic perspectives on teaching, learning process, NAC accreditation process, etc. And we look forward to have much more thoughtful sessions like this. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Anita.
Any of the faculties or students, if you want to share your opinion, please. But faculties from other institute, can share your opinion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I actually thank college and IQC coordinator, Dr. Siddesh sir, for organizing this session. I got shocked. After NAC, they got 8 plus, then they started a session. I asked him, why after NAC? Well, if it is before NAC, they would have scored for a point, but it is after NAC. So, this is a session which is very useful for all those faculties and students, and just not just because of NEP, but because of the sir has told the culture. So it's a we are lacking all the culture because with our experience, our faculties used to close with the students and spend time with the students in a campus. Sir has told faculty used to spend time in a canteen. We got the same experience. Our faculty used to get us in the canteen. So we have to be speak in a canteen. But now that gap, faculty and the student, if faculty become a close with the student, they take an advantage. That scale and that gap become because of that gap, the learning concept may change. We learn a lot of things out of books, lot of things out of book from a faculty in a canteen itself, not in a classroom. So, but in that culture is not growing in a present scenario. So, I would like to thank all the technical session speaker and especially the keynote speaker for their the very resourceful talk. Thank you, one and all.
Good evening to everybody. Before myself, I am Mr. Manjunath Palliyevar, Assistant Professor in Mathematics from KL Society's SSMS College, Athene, which is 250 kilometers from here. So really, I'm very much thankful to the college principal madam and the IQAC coordinators and all the teams. They have conducted a very nice seminar and also good hospitality here. So there is no doubt because it makes no difference. I am also a KLE family, one of the members of this one here, but this is the quite common here. And in the morning session, the keynote speaker was narrated very nice about the teacher's role in nowadays. And after the second session, Dr. Chaitra, he also narrated the nice. And the last Dr. Gaurisha sir, very excellent. So I had the idea about the NEP 2020, and till I have, but I didn't have that much of knowledge. Now only I have got a lot of knowledge about the NEP 2020 year. Not only we, I think you have all got a lot of knowledge about the NEP 2020 year. So I have gone through, I have read and I watched and also in the Google I searched. But this much of knowledge I didn't get it here. Only by face to face I got a lot of knowledge about the NEP. Today I am very happy. So once again, on behalf of KLE Society in college, I am very much thankful to Gorilla sir. Thank you for giving a very nice delivery about the speech about the NEP. Thank you very much. Once again, I am very much thankful to giving me an opportunity to share some ideas about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, we are going to conclude the seminar with the national anthem. So all are requested to stand for the national anthem. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
There will be a photo session with the delegates.
All the delegates, please assemble at the stage. All the delegates, please. All the delegates and staff, please. Please come first.